let's say that we start now. So hi, everybody. Here today we have Dr. Nir Barzilai, who is one of the authorities in the field of biogerontology and one of the authorities on clinical trials. As you know, in the Longevity Medicine course series, we're introducing the concept of the clinical studies for longevity, and Dr. Barzilai is the one who invented many of those concepts that are being introduced. Again, in the course series, we're not recommending any geroprotectors or regimens to be prescribed to the patients. However, as physicians, you do need to be aware of the clinical trials and protocols and the geroprotectors that are going through the pipelines. So that's why the course series is out there, to provide an update and inform the community about the recent advances in biogerontology. So Dr. Barzilai, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And look, I really got excited. I took the first series and I took the test, and I think there's nothing like that. And there's nothing that's done as well as this is done. And I think it's just so important for the field. And look, my motivation is not only because I'm helping you guys, everybody, to catch the field, how much it's important to start doing something about it, but also because I'm aging. Okay, so my motivation is now, I cannot wait anymore. I want to try and do something. So I'm as well as just looking what happened, I'm trying to find what am I going to do here? And so let me start with you, Alex. This is my motivation. What was your motivation to create this course series?
So nowadays, the longevity industry is booming. The funding is flowing into the field. There are more companies starting up. There are more academics getting into the field. So it's really experiencing explosive growth. However, the industry cannot move faster than the physician does. Because the physicians are interfacing the patients. They are the ones who are communicating with the patients, communicating with the field. And the physicians are currently restricted by the regulatory frameworks. They're restricted by the protocols, and they're guided by the protocols. And currently, the protocols are not going to change until the regulatory environment allows for the breakthroughs to come through the pipelines, demonstrate the efficacy in humans, and progress into the market. However, there is a lot of noise. Patients are coming to the physicians, and it's very important to explain the recent advances in biogerontology and biomedicine, explain where things are, explain how to conduct the clinical trials, or not even how to conduct, but where to look for those clinical trials. And basically, very often, the patient is even more informed than the physicians nowadays. And it's very important to be prepared. So we've come up with a team of scientists and medical doctors and MD PhDs who are involved in the field, who are running conferences, who are working with patients, working at the cutting edge, and decided to bring together a curriculum of increasing complexity, 101, 201, 301, and then branch it out into specific disciplines for insurance companies, for medical doctors, for diagnosticians, even for pension funds. So everybody would be able to find the content they need and take it at the pace that they're comfortable with. The motivation is to better inform the community and prepare it for the coming breakthroughs in aging research and many other fields that are converging.
Yeah, it's really a good idea to educate the physician. Look, we don't want to kill anyone or on our road to success, right? So we have to be careful. But the good news also is the lot of what you're talking about is not prescription drugs. It's not that you don't want your physician to know or to help, but I think you educate the physician. Other people are going to listen to the course too, and are going to get something. So it could be actually accelerated. So Eva, what are the course series that you offer now, and who around the world can use it? What are the languages and the platforms that you have?
So we want to be, of course, as broad as possible and bring the material to a broad audience. We are addressing primarily physicians, junior physicians, senior physicians from across all of the disciplines, of course, but it is not limited to physicians and healthcare professionals. Of course, we want anybody who is interested in the field, who is looking into working in some of the credible arenas of the field, to be informed and to have some source of credible information in this extremely rapidly evolving field. And we are very happy that this material has been picked up by several universities or big even national platforms. So at this very moment, we have two series of the course. We have the Introduction to Longevity Medicine for Physicians course, or as we call it now, Longevity Medicine 101. And we have now just very freshly launched the second, the advanced course of longevity medicine called Longevity Medicine 201, which is much larger, going much more into the detail, is much more granular, and is, of course, also now on the way to be CME approved. But we can talk about it a little later. And it is available at this very moment, not only in English, but also in Chinese, in Mandarin. It is available also in Russian language, and very soon will be also launched in Portuguese to cover our colleagues and friends in also in South America and Portugal, etc. And in Hebrew, we will be launching it also in Israel. So we are very, very excited about it, and a very big honor for us, and also a very, very good feedback for our work. Motivation for us to do more is, for example, that the NHS platform in the UK launched the course for their doctors on their platform, on the national platform. So we are looking at expanding the chapters in terms of language, and also in terms of collaborating with credible academic institutions or medical associations that are educating physicians in this field.
Terrific. So you didn't mention Spanish, French, and Italian, but my guess is it'll be coming too, right?
It is on the way. Indeed. We are already translating into French and Spanish, and
okay, great.
As it is a volunteer effort to mention and to underline it, it's the courses are free and they will remain free, and it's a voluntary effort of all the people who have been working, participating. So even the translations into new chapters are also coming mostly now self-initiated from the countries. So I think it will be growing.
Now, you mentioned CME. This is a great motivation in the United States, at least that I know. Maybe other places. Can you tell me how who's through whom are you organizing that?
Yes, it was. I think from the physicians team in the team of longevity medicine course, this was the primary goal for us, and I think one of the biggest achievements to receive the CME accreditation for a longevity medicine course from the AMA, so from the American Medical Association. And this the CME accreditation has been obtained through the Medical Society of Delaware for the longevity medicine course, the introduction course, and is now being reviewed. The second course is now being reviewed. So that was, of course, a very big achievement and a very big motivation. Anybody who has taken the course, who has taken the quiz, is eligible as a physician to receive the CME accreditation, beyond, of course, the certificate that that's being given.
Terrific. So, so Alex, when we write a grant, we have specific aims. Okay, so what are the specific aims? What are the plans, the goals, and the plans for this series that's coming up now?
So the series is, of course, to educate, involve, engage, and prepare. So we want to ensure that everybody in the industry is aware of the course and everybody can contribute to this course, so we can expand it. The first course in the series was narrated by me with this like weird accent, as you can imagine. However, the second course in the series, 201, is narrated by AI. So we've got good pronunciation. It's also very well calibrated for translation into the various languages. It's also calibrated for adaptation for the various course programs. The slides are available, so you can turn it into a course series at the university level and properly narrate it at the university level, include this course as part of the biotechnology courses, biomedical courses within the university curriculum. And of course, we want to expand it beyond the universities and get into the national healthcare systems. We're extremely excited that the NHS and the HDR UK included the course into the upskilling of the physicians programs at the national level. So now a lot of physicians get access to this information. The idea of the course is not to advertise anything. So it's not a marketing product. It's an educational product. As a matter of fact, to achieve CME accreditation, you cannot advertise products or services. It's exclusively educational goal. What we are aiming to create is an ecosystem between the medical doctors, the healthcare institutions, patients, and insurance companies. So we need to educate all the stakeholders into the ecosystem, and preferably also the pharmaceutical companies, so that everybody's interests are aligned and everybody's knowledge base is aligned. Because when you are talking about the insurance companies and the healthcare institutions and the patients, at the end of the day, their goals are aligned. Insurance companies, especially life insurance companies, want the patients to be healthier and live longer. The healthcare companies want the patients ideally to be healthier and live longer. And the patients and customers, they also want, presumably, to live longer. So the idea is to provide the educational component to every stakeholder in the ecosystem and help close the loop so that they can collaborate and speak the same language.
Terrific. And finally, Eva, who's the team? I see that you got pretty good team around you. How did that happen, and who do you want to mention?
It's indeed a great pleasure to have people who want to work and they are self-motivated. First and above, the grace goes to Alex, because he was the founder and he created a group around him that then expanded with a snowball effect. But the core team that I would definitely like to mention, and especially the main contributor to the content besides of us, was Professor Alexey Moskalyov, who is a professor of gerontology and gerobiology in Moscow, and further on also Professor Morten Scheibe Knudsen from Denmark, MD, PhD, and professor of medicine, and with extensive work on aging. And then we had a very large team of students, volunteers, residents, so medical students, both in the introduction part of the course, in the second part of the course, also AI specialists and computational science specialists from various teams. And last but not least, we also had some of the helpers, coordinators. So again, volunteers, mostly medical residents in that field. And the team was and is extremely international. So if I may mention, one of the main contributors for the Chinese chapter of the course was Dr. Christina Yang. She is one of the doctors in Forbes 30 under 30, and she was the one to lead this chapter here. And yeah, when we are looking at expanding, so we are very open. We are always welcoming people who would like to contribute and to work on the course further.
I just wanted to I just wanted to contribute a little bit so on the highlight Yeva's contribution, because the course now evolves around her and revolves around her. So she's a medical doctor, Max Planck educated, and then Columbia and Harvard educated, where she interned, and she is of course practicing longevity medicine at the cutting edge at Human Longevity, and the leading medical institutions in China and Switzerland and Basel, and I think also in Israel, where she is the associate professor and adjunct professor. I must acknowledge the entire conference, the ARDD conference series, where you graciously agreed to speak several times and present your work on PAIM and many other areas. So we try to combine this course with the conference so that every year people can travel to Copenhagen or the chapters of the conference series and get an update and interact in person. So this year it was an in-person conference and virtual as well. Currently, I think is the largest in the world by the number of participants. It was 2,500 both years, and we want to acknowledge everybody who is in the field and contributing to the field, because we of course draw the inspiration and material from those presentations, those lectures. Dr. Li Kai-Fu contributed a lot, so that's one of the top people in AI globally, and he is also driving the longevity medicine field in general and supporting it from many directions. And the wonderful teams at Human Longevity and in multiple academic institutions contributed. So we should not disregard the scientists. It's built by medical doctors, but also many scientists.
Right. And Eva and Alex, you've been such a great leaders for the field, and you're both working tirelessly. I know that I just woke up at 9 in the morning today, and you have a long night in front of you. I'm in New York and you're in China. That's a great job what you were doing. I'm also very happy to hear about the students that were involved. It's really interesting. 50% of our PhD students are choosing geroscience labs. Those guys will help us push it through, and the future is really very bright. And I wish you best with this course. I'm going to take each part of it and I'm going to give you comments on that and hope that it spreads like it metastasizes, but in a good way, so it can make a change.
Thank you, Nir. L'chaim to metastatic gerontology, biogerontology. Thank you so much for your help, and would love to have you as a guest lecturer at one of the courses, maybe 301 advanced.
Sure.
Thank you very much once again. It's a great